Greetings, family. Elder Gerard Williams here. Today, I want to have a conversation with you today about what I'm calling relational love. And the reason I think this conversation is important is because so many times when we mention the word love, so many individuals are restricted to understanding that as the emotion of love. But what I mean when I say relational love is love on a higher frequency. The Bible calls it unconditional love. And it's just a commitment to operate in a particular way, a way of being. It's actually a way of being more than it is an emotion, and it's a way of showing up. It's a way of interacting. It's a way of responding. It's a commitment to operate at that higher level, that higher frequency, particularly for those of us who call ourselves individuals of faith, particularly even more so for those of us who identify as followers of the Christ or call ourselves Christians. And the reason I think this is important because it bears reminding that there's a loving way to do everything. There's a loving way to do even have the most difficult conversations. There's a loving way to begin and end relationships. There's a loving way to do everything. And it is a process. I don't know that you'll ever arrive at a particular state in your life where you can say, I have gotten there, I've arrived, I've come to the end of the road. Every day that you wake up, every moment that you rise is an opportunity to reintroduce yourself to yourself and to begin the process anew. Of course, as human beings, we're going to always make mistakes, but especially for those of us who have identified as Christians, we've already made the commitment to operate at that higher level of frequency. So many of us are living examples that there is nothing greater than the power of that love. That love is healing, that love is transformational, and perchance it might be necessary for that love to show up in you in a way that not only heals you, but heals those you come in contact with. Not only transforms you, but transforms those you come in contact with. It is a love that recognizes and affirms that we are all one, and that we are not really separated by ethnicity or gender or orientation. It recognizes that we are all created in the image of God. It is a commitment to want for others everything you want for yourself, even to the extent of uh, dismantling and addressing those systems that may be inhibiting individuals from operating at that frequency. That commitment is also an important aspect to this relational love that I'm talking about. This is the most empowering way an individual can operate and show up because it helps to distinguish between so many of the other voices that we have going on in our heads, the voices of our fears, the voices of our past experiences, the voices even of our ego. This love ethic is greater than those voices because so many times when we listen to those other voices, we end relationships in such a toxic way. We dismantle relationships in such a dysfunctional and problematic way, even though the dismantling may be in our highest, it might be the thing we desire to do, and it's something that's necessary for us to do, as we may need to disconnect from certain people, or we may need to change our relationship with certain individuals. But that doesn't mean you cannot do any of that from this love ethic that I'm talking about in this moment. And so I really want to encourage individuals to begin to really be committed to asking of the Spirit of God, or asking that which you call God. Teach me this love language. Teach me how to operate on this higher level of frequency. Allow me the strength to want to be committed to this relational love, and watch what God will do in your life, not just in you, but also through you. Watch how your way of being will change and shift, and allow you to just kind of be a little bit lighter in how you present yourself, and your light will shine even the more lighter. So I think this is an important conversation we need to have with ourselves and with those individuals that we are connected to, because so many times we can be caught up, as I said earlier, in the dysfunction or the pain or our ego or even our fears even more so for the individuals that we interact with. So many times they're having a struggle, or they're struggling with something we may not have any awareness of. They're stuck in a place that we have no sense of what that is. They're dealing with something we cannot see. And the last thing we want to do is interact with them in a way that not only diminishes our light, but inhibits them from showing up at the highest level of frequency. So I just wanted to share that with you today real briefly. I hope that it encourages you in your spiritual practice, your spiritual practice, to incorporate that and have a conversation with that what you call God around, am I really operating from this place of love to the best of my ability? Am I really committed to this thing called love? Am I really allowing that which I call God to show up in me, even if I must put my ego to the side, even if I must put my fears to the side, even as I'm trying to get healing around my past pain and my past experiences? I know as a living example that there is no greater power than that love. I know as a living example that that love is healing and transformational, and it can do for others the same thing it's done for me, and the same thing it can and will do for you. So I hope you hear that and receive that, and God bless you in this holiday season. As always, remember, God is love, and love is for everyone.